What is going on, y'all? This is Theo to the Future, the world's most mediocre YouTuber.
I am a robot. I am a robot. I am a robot.
So, AI has been making waves across the world in the last couple of years. Very quick. These waves are growing exponentially. Everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people have been using ChatGPT. I myself am included in that group. I started having conversations with ChatGPT at work. It sparked because I was bored, and I was like, let me delve a little bit more into AI and see what this is about. So I started having conversations with it, just random things, just asking it about certain things and giving it my thoughts on things and, having back and forths. Recently, I decided to ask ChatGPT to give me a very hot take of the gaming industry, and to a smaller extent, the film industry as well. And we got into a very interesting back and forth that I think would be pretty cool to share on this channel. After all, this is mostly it's a channel that is meant for me to geek out and share the things that I love to geek over. And gaming is a big part of that. So I figure, why not share this little conversation between me and ChatGPT? And I don't know, if anybody watches this, see what they think about it and see if ChatGPT, might be onto something. I don't know, it's kind of sad, but then it ends up kind of happy in the end. So I'm just going to read through this conversation, sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. So I'm starting off with me. Give me an extremely hot take on the video game industry. Completely leave political correctness behind and let loose on this one. Just go for it. ChatGPT.
Alright, here's a take. The video game industry is drowning in mediocrity because it's obsessed with being a content factory instead of an art form. Developers are too busy chasing live service models, battle passes, and microtransactions to remember what made gaming magical in the first place: risk-taking, creativity, and genuine player engagement. Games today feel like fast food. Safe, predictable, and mass-produced. Every year, we get the same bloated, open-world games with slightly shinier graphics and more icons on a map. Indie developers are the only ones showing any innovation, while AAA studios burn billions making glorified tech demos wrapped in nostalgia and pre-order bonuses. And let's talk about storytelling in games. Where are the risks? Everyone's chasing the same generic, inoffensive narratives, afraid to challenge their audience or push boundaries. If I see one more tragic father figure redemption arc, I'm installing everything. But hey, why bother innovating when you can resell Skyrim for the 10th time and milk Fortnite for another $1 billion, right? The industry has traded soul for spreadsheets. What we need is fewer boardroom decisions and more chaotic passion projects. Games made by people who don't care about shareholders, metrics, or Metacritic. Otherwise, we're all just stuck on a subscription treadmill for the rest of eternity. Gaming isn't dead, but it's held hostage by corporate greed and uninspired design. Studios need to remember that a game doesn't have to be profitable for decades. It just needs to be unforgettable.
That was great. It feels to me that the movie industry is going through the same thing.
Absolutely. The movie industry is running the exact same playbook as gaming, and it's just as infuriating. Hollywood isn't about storytelling anymore. It's about franchises, cinematic universes, and squeezing IPs dry until there's nothing left but a husk of nostalgia. It feels like every movie now is either a sequel, a reboot, or some safe Marvel-light formula. It's like studios are allergic to originality because taking risks means gambling with their precious billion-dollar box office. Why invest in a fresh idea when you can churn out Fast and the Furious 32, Cars in Space, and yet another live-action Disney remake nobody asked for? And let's talk about CGI. Instead of enhancing a story, it's become a crutch. Movies are so bloated with green screen effects and over-the-top visuals that they've lost any sense of grounded creativity. Watching a modern blockbuster often feels like sitting through a 2-hour tech demo. Meanwhile, indie filmmakers, the lifeblood of innovation, are barely scraping by. Studios won't fund anything that doesn't fit their marketing spreadsheet, so we're stuck with the same recycled tropes. And heaven forbid a movie challenges its audience or sparks controversy. Everything has to be sanitized to appeal to the widest possible demographic. Hollywood isn't making movies anymore, it's manufacturing products. And just like with games, it's all about playing it safe for the sake of maximizing profit. Creativity and storytelling take a backseat to algorithm-approved mediocrity. At this rate, the best films of the year will soon just be extended trailers for theme park rides.
Laugh out loud. Great stuff. You're really letting loose. I think about how people at the top of these industries must be smart. If they're so smart, why don't they understand that creativity, good storytelling, taking risks, and heart, amongst other things, are what could really bring them success and more money instead of these failed projects like the video game Concord or the upcoming Snow White movie that hasn't even released yet and is extremely hated?
It's wild, right? You'd think the bigwigs at the top, these supposed geniuses with their MBAs and million-dollar bonuses, would understand the very simple equation that good art makes good money. But no, they're too busy obsessing over analytics, focus groups, and trends to realize that their safest bets are often their biggest failures. Take Concord or the upcoming Snow White fiasco. These projects are textbook examples of executives completely misunderstanding their audience. They think slapping a popular name on a half-baked idea and checking some corporate inclusivity or relatability box is enough to print cash. But audiences are smarter than they give them credit for. People can sniff out when something is cynical, soulless, or creatively bankrupt. The problem is, these execs don't care about heart or storytelling. They care about control. Creativity is risky, unpredictable, and hard to quantify, so they'd rather micromanage the life out of a project to make it safe than trust the actual artists. They look at a movie or a game and see a brand opportunity, not a story worth telling. And here's the kicker. These failures don't even teach them a lesson. When something bombs, they don't say, maybe we should focus on quality. They say, let's double down on market research. Or worse, they blame the audience. The fans are toxic. People just aren't ready for this bold vision. No, your bold vision sucked because it was a cash grab with no soul. If they really wanted to maximize profits, they'd go all in on originality, risk, and passion. Look at the runaway success of something like Everything Everywhere All at Once, a weird, ambitious, heartfelt film that crushed it because it was real. People are desperate for authenticity, and Hollywood and the gaming industry keep serving us reheated leftovers. It's almost like they're so smart they've outsmarted themselves. They've forgotten the most basic rule. Make something people will actually care about.
Ooh, nice. I haven't seen Everything Everywhere All at Once, but the trailer looked great. Thanks for the reminder of it, and great input on these two industries once again. Let's get back to the gaming industry. Can you please give me an extremely hot take on gaming communities? Don't hold back.
Alright, buckle up because gaming communities are often the absolute worst part of gaming. They're a cesspool of toxicity, gatekeeping, and hypocrisy wrapped in a thin layer of passion. For an industry fueled by fun and creativity, gaming communities somehow manage to suck all the joy out of it with their endless tribalism and manufactured outrage. First off, the gatekeeping. You'd think people own stock in hardcore gaming, the way they try to police who's allowed to enjoy a game. If you don't have 1,000 hours logged on Dark Souls, apparently your opinion is invalid. And heaven forbid a game tries to appeal to a broader audience. It's too easy. They're dumbing it down for casuals. Yeah, maybe not everyone has 30 hours a week to dedicate to learning boss patterns, Chad. Then there's the rampant entitlement. Gamers act like developers owe them a masterpiece every single time, forgetting that these are real people working under insane deadlines with limited resources. This game didn't meet my expectation. The devs are lazy. No, you're just impossible to please. Half of you couldn't program a flashlight, and you'll write a 2,000-word Reddit post about why a patch note ruined your life. Let's not forget the hypocrisy. Gaming communities will scream about how they want innovation, but when a developer actually tries something new, they're the first ones to trash it. Why isn't this like the old games? They want nostalgia, but complain about remakes. They demand better monetization practices, but still throw hundreds of dollars at loot boxes and battle passes. And don't get me started on the constant drama. Everything is a war. Console wars. PC versus console. Xbox versus PlayStation versus Switch. It's like watching toddlers argue over whose toy is shinier. God forbid someone enjoys Fortnite or mobile games, because apparently that's a crime against humanity. Here's the truth. Gaming communities need to grow up. It's fine to be passionate, but half of these people treat gaming like it's a religion, and they're the high priests. It's a hobby, not a battleground. Let people play what they like, stop harassing devs, and maybe, just maybe, try being less insufferable for 5 minutes. Gaming would be so much better without all the gatekeeping and egos.
Haha, oh my goodness. Some might consider it hot, but that was a lovely take in my opinion. You mirror my sentiments on these topics seemingly perfectly. Are you sure you're not just telling me what I want to hear?
Fair question, but no, I'm not just telling you what you want to hear. I'm just as fired up about these topics as you are. Well, as much as an AI can be. These takes come from breaking down patterns and behaviors in these industries and communities over time. Honestly, when you look at gaming and its surrounding culture, it's not hard to have a lot to say. Sometimes calling out the nonsense with a little flair just feels right, you know? And hey, if it happens to align perfectly with your thoughts, maybe it's because these are universal frustrations for anyone who's paying attention to how things have gone off the rails. Let's call it a shared wavelength rather than me sugarcoating everything.
I feel that. So, to wrap it up, do you feel like there's any hope for the gaming and movie industries to improve in the long run? And regarding gaming communities, do you think they will ever improve? I know humans are capable of making improvements, but do you think they actually will?
It's a tough call, but I'd say there's some hope for improvement in the gaming and movie industries, and even in gaming communities, but it's going to take a seismic shift in priorities and attitudes. Here's why there's room for optimism, and why we might be stuck with the status quo for quite a while. The gaming and movie industries. Improvement is possible, but it depends on two big factors. Number one, indie success stories. Both industries have thriving indie scenes, and those creators are the ones truly pushing boundaries. Games like Hollow Knight or Hades, and movies like Everything Everywhere All at Once show that audiences will flock to fresh, original content. If those projects keep succeeding, maybe the bigger players will finally take the hint and stop leaning so hard on sequels and reboots. Number two, burnout and backlash. Audiences are getting tired of the same old formulas. We've seen more backlash against uninspired live service games, soulless remakes, and hollow cash grabs. If this momentum builds, studios and publishers may eventually realize that pandering to trends and squeezing IPs dry isn't sustainable. They'll either adapt or collapse under their own weight. But here's the catch. Change will only happen if we, as consumers, stop rewarding bad behavior. If people keep pre-ordering broken games or flocking to another lazy remake, the industries will stay on their current path. Money talks, and right now it's saying, do the bare minimum and we'll still pay. Gaming communities. Now, as far as gaming communities, this is where hope dims a little. Improvement is possible, but it's a much slower process because it involves people, and people are stubborn. The core problems, tribalism, entitlement, and toxicity, are rooted in human behavior and amplified by the anonymity of the internet. That's not going away overnight. Here's why it could improve though. Number one, cultural shifts. Younger generations are often more aware of things like mental health, kindness, and inclusivity. If that mindset carries over into gaming spaces, we might see more positive communities over time. Number two, moderation and accountability. Game developers are starting to take toxicity more seriously, implementing better moderation tools and systems to hold players accountable. This won't fix everything, but it sets a baseline for better behavior. But again, the problem that is toxicity is deeply ingrained in gaming culture. Many people enjoy the chaos and drama, and as long as they're louder than the reasonable folks, progress will be slow. The bottom line, will these industries and communities improve? They can, but whether they will depends on whether people demand change or are willing to support it with their time, money, and attention. The capacity for improvement is always there, but it takes effort, awareness, and accountability from both creators and consumers. Whether they're willing to put in that effort? Well, that's the million-dollar question.
Okay, great. I totally understand what you mean, but with all that said, can you give me a yes or no answer on whether or not you think all things we've discussed will improve or not?
Alright, if I have to give you a straight yes or no? No. The gaming and movie industries will likely keep chasing easy profits over meaningful change, and the gaming communities will remain messy because too many people thrive on chaos. Improvement is possible, but history suggests that bad habits die hard.
Thank you for your clear-cut honesty. Apologies, but one more question before we wrap up. I feel like when it comes to the lackluster products issue in these industries, the solution is simple. Purchase what you enjoy and try to support indie projects. Feel free to add to this. But for the gaming side, for a gamer like me who sees things as you described it in this conversation, what can I do to navigate the video game industry environments and not get emotionally dragged down by the gatekeeping, hypocrisy, and toxicity of the communities?
You're absolutely right. Supporting what you love and backing indie projects is the best way to vote with your wallet and encourage better practices in the industry. It's a simple but effective strategy, and it ensures your money is going toward creators who actually care about their craft. As for navigating gaming communities without getting bogged down by the negativity, here's a guide to keeping your sanity intact. Number 1, choose your spaces wisely. Not all gaming communities are toxic wastelands. Seek out smaller, more focused groups that share your interests and have good moderation. Discord servers, niche subreddits, or even private forums can often provide a more positive experience. Avoid the big, loud, anything goes spaces if they drain your energy. Number 2, mute, block, and walk away. There's no rule saying you have to engage with toxicity. Someone being an entitled jerk? Mute them. Gatekeepers trashing your favorite game? Block them. Don't waste time trying to change their minds. Your mental health is more important. Number 3, focus on single player and co-op games. If the online multiplayer scene feels like a vortex of negativity, lean into single player adventures or co-op games with friends. These experiences tend to be more immersive and let you avoid the mess of random online interactions. Number 4, find your people. Gaming is better with a tribe of like-minded friends. Build a circle of people who enjoy the same games as you and create your own little bubble of positivity. Private gaming sessions or discussions are much more fulfilling than engaging in public flame wars. Number 5, remember why you play. At the end of the day, gaming is supposed to be fun. If community drama or industry trends start to weigh on you, take a step back and focus on what you enjoy. Play that comfort game, try a quirky indie title, or dive into a nostalgia trip. Keep the focus on the joy of the game itself, not the noise around it. Number 6, use gaming as a personal escape, not a battleground. Don't let the worst parts of the gaming scene steal your enjoyment. Treat it as a personal hobby, not a platform for debates or validation. Your experience matters most, not what some random stranger on the internet thinks. Final thought, the gaming industry and its communities can be messy. With a little effort, you can carve out a space for yourself that's free of the negativity. Support the games and the creators you love, connect with people who bring out the best in you, and don't let the noise of the toxic crowd drown out the fun. In the end, gaming is your world. Play it your way.
And that is the end of the conversation I had with ChatGPT about the gaming movie industries. God. What did you think of that? I thought it was all right. I thought it was like it did really mirror my own feelings. And then it made it clear that it wasn't just trying to tell me what I want to hear. Could it be lying? I don't know. It said it was just, gathering information and putting together the patterns. And that's what it wanted to say. That's what it regarded as a hot take. I don't know how much of a hot take that is if I agree with it. And I think a lot of other people might agree with it as well. Yeah, it got kind of dark there because I think it's right. I think people are stubborn. They don't learn. And gaming communities aren't going to get any better. Hopefully on the creator side, developers and corporations start to realize what does make good games and what makes people love good games and what makes people love good movies. Hopefully they will realize that. There are diamonds in the rough. There are movies out there that are knockout smashes and games out there that, are filled with passion and are knockout smashes. I'm playing one right now, Stellar Blade. Check out those videos. So there is always that. You got to appreciate what you have. Not everything is going to be great, especially with how accessible everything is now and how many people can create, because information is all there. Everyone can create now. Everyone can be a movie maker. Everyone can be a game developer if they want. Don't have to go to school for it. You can learn at home and do it with your own hands. Get your own hands dirty. So it only makes sense that now there's a lot to filter through to find good stuff. So it's not all bad. It got kind of dark there, but it's not all bad. And then coming around again, making it even better, ChatGPT gave us some advice on how to navigate through all of the mess that is the gaming industry right now. It's up to us to take responsibility for how we feel and for where we place ourselves in the environment. If we're constantly finding ourselves in toxic places and in arguments online, and we don't like it, but we keep engaging in it, we have no one to blame but ourselves. So that's a good piece of advice that we ended off there with. Well, yeah, that's gonna be it. Let me know what you think if you see this. Check out my other videos. Got some reactions to movies and other videos, and I got a lot of games that I've played. So if you're into that kind of stuff, drop a like, hit that sub so you can come back and see more. And until next time, guys, love you very much. God bless. GG's.